This year's Halloween came and went, but the spooky season stuck with me through October. I used the month to finally catch up on 2 games that have been sitting unfinished in my backlog for quite some time, namely the first Hollow Knight and Signalis. Both are widely considered among the best in their genres, Metroidvania and survival horror respectively, and after spending some time with each of them, I can see why. In Hollow Knight, I've been diving deep into its beautiful labyrinthine world, interacting with the NPCs, uncovering bits of lore, and enjoying the thrill of each boss fight and the Colosseum. Oh god, no! While also getting hopelessly lost more times than I'd like to admit. The map system really threw me off hard the first few minutes, not gonna lie. But I managed, thanks to the Wayward Compass charm I got from the shop, which was the very first thing I bought as soon as it was available. Meanwhile, Signalis impressed me with its haunting atmosphere and old-school survival horror mechanics. Its cryptic storytelling and tense resource management kept me on constant edge. The puzzles were pretty creative and satisfying to solve, not too obscure to the point of frustration, but not too obvious as if the developer themselves were holding your hand along the way. I've only been in the first hour of gameplay so far, but it's easy to see why Signalis is considered by many as a modern indie masterpiece. Maybe someday I'll give both games their own full review once I've finished them properly and had time to let them sink in. But for now, I want to shift the spotlight onto something a little more contemporary, a game where you step into the shoes of a quote-unquote moderator. No, not the Discord kind. On a mission to rescue an abducted influencer in exchange for a shiny new pair of kicks. Oh, and did I mention you'll be mowing down robo-billionaires and their army of tanker goons along the way? Yeah, let's dive into the crazy, adrenaline-fueled experience of Mullet Madjack. Now, I've gotta be real honest here. The first thing that grabbed me about Mullet Madjack wasn't the gameplay, it was the look. The game wears its anime influence proudly, channeling the spirit of those stylish action OVAs from the late 80s and 90s like, say, Akira, the first adaptation of Ghost in the Shell, and Cyber City Oedo. From the moment you fire it up, it all just hits you right in the face. Neon colors everywhere, the thick line work, the exaggerated physiques, and those luscious anime locks waving in the breeze.
Shorty's head built like the Warner Brothers logo.
Not to be hyperbolic, but this is one of the few games where I never hit start right away in order to soak in the intro, vibing to the wailing saxophone and slick synth over the most 80s opening this side of Bubblegum Crisis VHS tape. The game even references the Akira slide, just to really hammer the homage home. And the main character? He's what I would call the perfect parody of the 80s action archetype. A mullet-sporting Chad in shades who drives a kick-ass bright red muscle car with a lollipop in his mouth and somehow makes it all look effortlessly cool. However, he's not exactly the strong, silent type like the game describes, since you can make him frequently fire off one-liners and catchphrases. But hey, we'll get to that when we get to it.
Technology was the key to freedom.
When it comes to gameplay, Mullet Madjack wastes absolutely no time throwing you into the chaos. After a quick briefing about your mission to rescue a kidnapped influencer with a star-shaped birthmark, a pretty bizarre detail if you catch the reference, you're dropped straight into the action. The tutorial barely gives you enough breathing room before the game starts testing your reflexes. As a moderator, live streaming your bloody rescue mission, you are in desperate need of dopamine, like literally. You start every floor with just 10 seconds on the clock, and every enemy you kill adds a few more seconds, courtesy of your viewers' likes being injected directly into your bloodstream. It's a hilariously dark commentary on the social media era, where you chase validation just to stay alive. I know. Asking for likes in the middle of a video about a game where your life depends on other people's likes feels a little too on the nose. But hey, it's just another case of art imitates life, right? So if you're vibing with the video so far, please hit that like button and maybe consider subscribing to the channel too. I promise, unlike him, the likes won't be injected directly into my bloodstream. Probably. Alright, now back to the video. Each level is made up to 10 floors, capped with a boss fight, and there are 8 levels total. Run out of time or take too much damage, and it's back to square one. The gameplay loop instantly reminded me of Post Void. It has the same don't stop moving or you die type of mechanics, but here, the UI is much clearer and the presentation more cinematic, and less bloom and flashing too, because Post Void can be so rough on your eyes. Anyway, just like the game, and Ultra Kill for that matter, you're constantly pushing forward, chaining kills, and searching for an exit before that life bar / timer hits 0.
Winners never quit and quitters never win.
You'd be pleased to know that the weapons are nicely varied in this game. You kick things off with a default revolver that has basic stats, but after each floor, you can trade up for a shotgun, Uzi, assault rifle, or even elemental katanas like a true Reap. Don't worry, as every weapon, while still requiring reloading, comes with unlimited ammo, so it's open season to cut loose and cause chaos. Once you progress far enough into the game, you can even unlock more powerful versions of these weapons that come with less recoil, eliminate the need for reloading, or deal increased damage. Moreover, Mullet Madjack encourages creativity in how you finish the darn clankers. Environmental kills like kicking them into fans, shocking them with exposed wires, or slamming doors into their faces are just as effective, and in some cases, way more satisfying. As you navigate each floor, keep an eye out for single-use melee weapons, ranging from hammers to knives and even literal mangas. Every melee takedown restores a full 10 seconds to your timer. There's even a health bonus for smashing vending machines and chugging sodas mid-fight. And just when you think you've mastered the rhythm, Mullet Madjack starts throwing new hazards into the mix. The early floors are relatively tame, maybe a few bottomless bits here and there, pools of acid to keep you on your toes, or chain doors to momentarily halt your run. Fortunately, you can air dash and slide through vents to take shortcuts. However, as you climb higher, things get much nastier, as any good roguelite would. You'll start dodging lasers that slice across hallways, while running through billboards and weaving past molten lava pits where acid used to be. Plus, there are these giant spinning fans that make things even trickier, where you have to shoot them to slow them down just enough to dash through without getting shredded. It's this kind of randomized escalation that makes each level feel more like an obstacle course than a standard shooter map.
We accept all credit cards, deducted directly from your pay. Convenient.
The upgrade system is equally interesting, offering a mix of practical and personality-driven options. Some upgrades can help extend your survival, like slowing down time at the last 3 seconds before dying and adding bonus seconds for headshots, crotch shots, or environmental kills, while others tweak the game's tone, such as making the character more talkative.
This was such a pain! Making friends! Realize nobody cares!
Or muting his constant one-liners if they start to wear you down. The upgrades only last about 10 floors or until you die before they reset. Some permanent upgrades are also available, from permanently increasing the levels of the weapons you can pick to an ability to re-roll upgrade options if you're unhappy with what's available. Personally, I usually go for the ricochet bullets, item highlights, and bigger explosions upgrades when I do my shotgun run to maximize the hell out of the damage I can cause. Maybe it's just me, but the default gameplay loop gives me major Balatro vibes. Each randomized floor feels like drawing a new poker hand, where every cleared wave earns you a brief window to shop for new perks to plan your build. Combine that with the relentless pace and stylistic violence of something like Hotline Miami, and Mullet Madjack lands somewhere between an arcade shooter, a roguelite experiment, and a full-blown sensory overload. It's fast, flashy, and endlessly replayable. The kind of game that makes you coming back for more and more. Oh, despite being branded as a roguelite, Mullet Madjack doesn't force you into a single play style. You can dial down the chaos and play it like a classic boomer shooter, ditching the timer altogether for a more relaxed experience. Or, if you're built different, you can go full masochist with permadeath mode, where one mistake ends your entire run. That way, the death keeps the game accessible to both casual players and the quote-unquote elite gamers, without compromising what makes it fun. Then come the boss fights, and And honestly, this is where the game flexes its creativity. Every 10th floor greets you with a boss that doesn't just test your aim, but your adaptability. Each one feels distinct. One might have you circle strafing around the boss, targeting weak points like you're in typical 90s shooter. Another forces you to close quarters melee combat, where timing your dashes and dodges actually matters. And then there's that one boss fight that unexpectedly turns into a best of 3 rock paper scissors showdown, turn-based JRPG, or sniping segment like in Time Crisis. Yeah, you heard that right. You spend an entire run blasting robots and kicking down doors, only to have the game occasionally throw a curveball at you.
But wait! There's more!
Once you're done kicking the clankers' asses and finishing off bosses, Mullet Madjack still has more tricks up its sleeve. You can try a handful of bonus modes that extend the game's replayability in all the right and ridiculous ways. There's the Endless mode, which is exactly what it sounds like, an infinite gauntlet of floors that keeps going until you die, complete with online leaderboards. Then there's Weapon Roulette, where your gun randomly changes after each floor, giving a new meaning to the term arms race. Feeling masochistic? Try Happy Food mode, where you can only kick enemies and rely on single-use melee weapons to survive. If you are into boss fights, the Boss Rush mode delivers all of them back to back, capped off with a guest appearance from Punished V2. Yes, the very same V2 from Ultra Kill, just sporting a new title and the same thirst for violence. Oh, and if luck is on your side, you might even stumble across a hidden joke weapon, the handgun. You point, you say pew pew, and watch all the robots explode. Hilariously, the thing actually packs a serious punch if you can aim well enough.
Oh, looks like it's too late to save her. Alice Klinknet is on another floor. She is now on the 20th floor. This is all a game, don't you see? Someone else is controlling you. Don't you feel that sometimes you're not moving on your own? Run, Marlena! Run!
Sorry, I just don't understand things from a clanker!
Alright, as much as I've been hyping up Mullet Madjack, it's not without its flaws. Let's talk about a few that stood out to me. First, the repetition. While the roguelite design keeps things unpredictable on paper, you'll start recognizing certain room layouts and enemy patterns pretty quickly. After a few runs, it becomes clear that the variety isn't infinite. And when you pair that with upgrade options that don't always complement your build, some runs can feel stacked against you, especially since you can't really ditch the upgrades you don't want before the next boss fight. Second, the visual overload. The game's anime-inspired presentation looks fantastic, but sometimes it can be too much. Between the explosions, bright particle effects, and flashing neon, it's easy to lose track of where certain items or single-use melee weapons even are during the chaos. It's not quite post-void levels of sensory overload, but I think some people might find it discomforting after a while. Third, the bosses. While I appreciate how each one tries something different, they're not quite as satisfying as the bosses in games like Doom Eternal or Ultra Kill. It's definitely more style than substance in that department. And finally, the length. The game's pretty short, clocking in at around 4 hours if you know what you're doing. Thankfully, the bonus modes do a good job of extending the fun a bit. That said, despite all those nitpicks, Mullet Madjack still absolutely delivers. It's fast, stylish, and just pure chaos in the best way possible. If you're looking to add some variety to your FPS diet, I wholeheartedly recommend checking it out. The demo is also available on Steam if you want to give it a shot yourself. I put the link in the description. And that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your patience with this one. It took me a bit longer to finish since I've been juggling editing in my 9-to-5 job these past few weeks. If you enjoyed this review and want something to watch while waiting for the next one, I've got a few other videos just like this up on the channel. You can check them out from the thumbnails at the end of this video. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can do so through Saweria, Coffee, or Yap. Every bit of help really goes a long way. Thanks again for sticking around, and I'll see you in the next one.